Past 2 weeks we've been doing a t-shirt contest and you guys have been submitting. I think we got around 55 submissions. So I just wanted to thank everyone that submitted a design. If we don't choose your design, that definitely doesn't mean that we couldn't eventually use it for something. I'm going to show you the 5 submissions here, and then you can go down and click below and vote, and you just choose which one you want at the bottom. I think you click end survey or finish survey or something, whatever that button is at the bottom, and then you're done. Actually, this week I believe is my topic, and I'm talking about agreements. I read a book called The Four Agreements. I didn't like it, and I'll make a video probably eventually talking specifically why I didn't like the book. But one of the interesting things that was mentioned in the book were agreements, and those are basically, like when you're younger, or even now, if someone tells you something like, oh, you can't do math, because at some point I didn't do as well on a math test probably, and someone told me, oh, you must not be very good at math. That stuck in my head, and because I chose to believe that, it became an agreement that I basically made. There are agreements that people can tell you, things that they'll tell you that you choose not to believe, things that you do choose to believe, and that kind of influences the way that you interact with the world, and the way that you deal with situations, and the way that you think about yourself. Oh, and also before I get started, I want to show off my nails. I wore pink nail polish today for Gretchen, because I thought she'd like that. It's more subdued, less this. Something that I get told over and over and over again is there's no way for you to be successful with what you want to do, being music and doing that, with the way that you look, with how big that you are. My family's always been pretty supportive about, if you want to do something and you work hard enough at it and you do everything you can to try to be the best that you can, then there's no shame in that, and kind of no one can take that away from you. My family's kind of instilled in me a sense of realism about, like, this is what could happen, and to always be prepared for kind of the worst. But they never told me, like, you can't be a singer, or you can't be a writer, or you can't be anything. I think that a lot of things that have happened to me have been surprises to them too, because they never really expected it. Like, we don't have a lot of examples, I think, around us of people that have made things happen, maybe not looking the norm. But I choose to focus on the exceptions. And quite a few messages, comments, people saying, like, the only reason that you're getting even any of these experiences, or that people are listening to you or watching you, is because you're like a circus freak. Everyone wants to look at the big girl that can sing because it's so out of the ordinary. And if I chose to believe those things, I feel like it would really diminish what I've accomplished or what has happened to me. I feel like people cannot stand to see you do well at something, or to have experiences that they might never have, because they're so busy hating themselves. They can't stand the idea of anyone else who looks the same as them or has to deal with the same hardships actually not hating themselves, actually living a good life, actually enjoying what they're doing. But I'm not someone who looks in the mirror every day and says, oh man, if I could only change this, if I could only do this. Like, looking around and realizing that everyone is trying to do all these fad diets and these last minute changes, and they're so unhappy and they're so unfocused on what they need to be focused on, that I actually look in the mirror and I'm like, I like my eyes. I like my hair. I just think that Project Life Size has been a huge factor in the way that I feel about myself, and the way that I communicate about the way that I feel about myself. There was no way I was going to ever tell the stories that I tell here. There's no way that I was ever going to be able to talk about the things and the way that I feel anywhere but here. I just think that some people are so busy trying to tear each other down and, like, point out what's wrong, that we don't point out the things that are right. We don't point out the things that are great. I just think that people tend to settle into unhappiness, and they hate to see other people happy. And those people, I don't want to know you. Everything that will go wrong. But when it all goes wrong, if you can't sit there and just, like, laugh at how ridiculous it is, and look at all the things that you do have, and be thankful for the things that you do have and the friends that you do have, then it's not worth it. I will look however the hell I want, and I will be who I am, and I'm gonna do what I want to do. And I'm going to do it the way that I want to do it, and I'm going to do it so that I'm happy with it, and I don't care what your own hangups are. I don't care what you think can happen or won't happen. Because with someone like you, nothing ever will happen. You will never change anything. No one has a set formula for life. No one has a set formula for happiness. Also, how extremely low is this neckline on this dress? Just saying. You see it? Do you see it? Hold on, I gotta push my bubs closer together.